First of all, I think let's just look back on Saturday and that sort of penalty decision with the handball. I mean,
which one?
Well, the one that was the VAR, I guess, off Lee Ashcroft on
right,
the arm,
okay.
that one.
Right.
I mean, that must be so frustrating because everything's going in the right direction. The team's got momentum behind them. The goals are coming in, and then something like that to happen. What's the reaction sort of behind the scenes to that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was disappointing from us. It was given very quickly. I don't know much more what Lee Ashcroft could do, to be honest with you. It was probably about half a yard away from him. He's turned away from the ball, so he's made his body smaller. His hands were close into him, as we could see. I think the manager had spoke to the referee after the game, and he'd spoke about the referee said he would like to have seen it once more. I think the manager was a bit kind of puzzled by that because VAR was there. I think the club are just wondering, just to get clarification on the procedures of it. Is VAR there to call the decision for the referee for support, or is it the referee that calls it and VAR's there for support? And I think the club are just waiting for word back on that. I thought you were talking about the one on the other side, and Beningame had handled it, but yeah. So I think it's one of those ones where I don't know what Lee Ashcroft can do with it being so close to him. I think he does try to move out the way of it, but yeah, I think clarification would be good.
And going into the Wednesday's game, obviously away to St Mirren, the team obviously picks up momentum at the start of the game. Things are going really well, and they're obviously taking VAR out of it because that is a knock to momentum there, and that's out with your control. Like you're saying, what could Lee Ashcroft do in that situation? But facing a team like St Mirren, they've had to come off the back of a good win. What's the feelings going into that in front of an away crowd as well? Yeah,
we come out of the game. Obviously we're disappointed. Every game we go into, we look to go and win the game. The performance was really, really good. Obviously the result wasn't what we were looking for, but the performance was really, really good. So we came out of it, reviewed it today, and the lads are in a really, really upbeat mindset because of the positive performance that they had. So we're looking forward to the game. We've played back-to-back games for the last couple of weeks. We've had really good performances. One thing that we've always set ourselves on this season has been the high standard of fitness. So we're ready to go again. The lads are buzzing to go. And another thing that we've taken pride in this season is had very good reactions after disappointments. Anytime we've lost a game, we've always reacted really well and had a positive performance and result after it. And credit to the lads, that's a mentality that they've set within their group. We're really looking forward to Wednesday night's game. We know, and we say that every time we've played someone, they're a very, very good side, a very experienced side. They're well organised, and they've got players in that group that know the league inside out. So we know exactly, they've had a brilliant result on Saturday, but we know how tough a game it's going to be. So looking forward to it.
And just last from me, obviously you talk about that mentality with the lads, and we've heard about that earlier today as well. Sort of they've built up that momentum in the squad. How important is it now, given where you are in the table, sitting sixth, to close that gap and finish perhaps well into the top 5 if you start sort of turning the draws and sort of conceded goals into the 3 points?
I've said it before, the league tables are important. The last game of the season that's where you end up. The managers again set out a mentality from the start of the season is going into every single game, be positive, be confident that you can go and win the game, and the lads have been great where they've done that this season, been very positive and confident within games. So we will not bother about league tables or anything like that. It's a case of going out there, playing well, and trying to come out with the 3 points. But we know the task in front of us, that St Mirren are a very good side, and we know that we're going to have to work extremely hard and play very, very well to get something out of the game.
The squad that Dundee have this season is a very young squad. A couple of experienced players now, but on the whole a very, very young squad, learning all of the time. Do you think that some of these recent experiences that they've had with these games that have just slipped away at the end will be beneficial to them later in the season because they are learning all the time?
Yeah, well, it's a learning culture the manager's created at this club, and One that if you don't make mistakes, it's the worst mistake you can make. So it's the only time you can learn from it. And there's a lot of work done in the training ground, and the manager shows that and what to change things and going into the next game. So yeah, there was a couple of mistakes made at the weekend, and we've learned from that. And we know that they'll act positively in the next game or two. So yeah, we're looking for a good reaction, as I said earlier on. We're looking for a good reaction and a good performance.
And no better time to turn that around within a few days with the opportunity to take it out against St Mirren on Wednesday.
Well, that's it. We've had midweek games. We're used to them now. Sometimes it's better when you go Saturday, Tuesday, because you get into the momentum of it. As I said before, we've got a really fit young team, loads and loads of energy. So yeah, we're fine. We're in good form. We're good health, and we've got near enough everybody back fit, which is good as well. So it's all positive here on this side. And
a good balance of squad, because you've got numbers now in to help with these situations as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've got a good squad, as I said, and we've got plenty of numbers, and yeah, everybody's fighting and ready to go.
Ready for St Mirren on Wednesday after their good weekend that they've had against Hibs?
Yeah, as I say, you know, it's a fantastic result, but I went to go and see St Mirren through there earlier on in the season. Had another positive result. I've seen St Mirren quite a bit this season. They're a very good side. We know we're up for a really tough game, but there's almost like a no fear mentality in the dressing room. Well, they're enjoying the season. They've all been doing really, really well, and they look forward to each game, even when it does come thick and fast. They're looking forward to it.
Any team news for the midweek game?
Yeah, we've got a few lads that are back training and touch and go whether they'll be available for Wednesday, but we'll just see how tomorrow comes, and the manager will make the decision after that.
And just a quick one for myself, obviously in the kind of last run of games, clean sheets have been a little bit difficult to come by. I think it's now just one in the last 10. And is that something you're kind of working on, and what is it that needs to kind of turn around just to get that clean sheet? And I suppose that itself can kind of trigger a bit of momentum in that aspect.
Yeah, there's loads of things that the manager set out, loads and loads of challenges in every game, and yeah, clean sheets is one of them. There's also loads of other ones that the lads have achieved. So yeah, there's loads of positives to look at. There's always things that we want to improve on, and as a group, they want to get back into clean sheets, and they're working hard to get back into that mentality and get into that way of form. So as long as we're ticking out most boxes and having performances like we did and like we've had of late, that's the most important thing, that the right result will come.
Let's take a look back at that game on Saturday then. Just first of all, before we get into the details of it, it must have been quite frustrating with that sort of last minute VAR decision to come off. I mean, everything was going in the right direction from the offset until then.
Yeah, I think we were frustrated just how the goals, you lead up to the goals. Really, obviously you can't affect once the refs make their decision or whatever. Obviously you can shout in their face as much as you want, but listen, they make their decision, that's on them. We were more disappointed at how it lead up and how kind of momentum shifted a wee bit after that. But listen, we've got to take positives with performances, and there was a lot of positives in there, so it wasn't the worst defeat we've had, but probably one of the ones that hurt the most.
And going into this game against St Mirren, you talk about sort of momentum, you need to keep that up, and Dundee really seems to carry themselves really strong at the starts of games, but there seems to be a wee bit of an Achilles heel perhaps going into the second half, and things drop and you start conceding goals. Is it a case of morale then just dips and that's when you end up drawing, or you concede one winning goal and that's you're down points?
Well, I think that's the hardest thing any team does, is when you concede goals, is to keep your momentum and keep the things going in your way. And we're obviously a kind of youngish team, and we are learning that through the season coming along, but obviously there's only so long you can say that you need to actually start using it and making it work. So now we know that it's kind of probably been a downfall in games, but listen, we work as hard as we can in the games, and other games that we've started well and we've ended up being even better throughout the game. So listen, some games that happens and it hurts, and that's probably why this result probably hurt the most.
And just last from me, as you go on the road to this Wednesday, obviously it's games like this that you've got a real chance of sort of closing the gap and taking a strong position in the games to come in the top six. What's your thoughts on that?
I think we're just motivated to get there. Obviously the results went our way probably on Saturday, that after the game you see and we stay in top six, but listen, we're not even looking at figures on a board yet. It's just about next performances, and next games, look at the next 3 games coming, and you want to try and go in places and win them all, and lucky 2 of them I think are at home, so listen, we'll be as motivated as ever just to go and get the result.
You mentioned about it being a young team and still learning, obviously, to put things together. How much do you think you'll have learned from these recent experiences that you can take to later on in the season? Because it's important, is it, to pick up when you're going on?
I think that's the main thing that we take after defeats, obviously, because that's probably when you learn the most, because you go into so much detail about it. And we're probably I would say personally doing that at a slower rate than what we want, because obviously against Hearts previously at their pitch we lose after being ahead, and then obviously again Saturday there we lose after being ahead. So I think we can learn quicker, but listen, over the course of a season you're not going to remember any defeats. If we finish in top 6 or finish close to it, it's going to be a great achievement nonetheless, so we just need to keep using the games as a bit of a learning curve and push on.
There's a lot of games coming just now, fast and furious, obviously, from there. But again, that must be good, because you've had that setback. You've only got to wait a couple of days and then you're back at it again. And
games are the best. Games coming thick and fast are the best. Obviously, you need to recover and all that stuff, but we're big enough boys, we know how to just rub them off and go again. So, well, the games coming each straight away, especially when you do get defeat or a draw, even, you're buzzing that the game's right around the corner.
And the size of the squad now allows, obviously, for a wee bit of chop and change when they are coming as quick as that.
Yeah, and I think that's the good thing about this squad this year is, like, even when boys come in that haven't played, they look fresh as anything and they're ready to go, and they can slot in and play as good as the person who was starting before them can. And rotation's massive in a squad. You see that with bigger teams. It's probably how they do so well in a season, is because they've got so many players that can play so well throughout the course of the year. So now we're buzzing that we've got that within our team.
How important is that kind of morale and the comradeship that you guys have together?
It's probably the one thing the gaffer and probably a few, like Joe and like Trevor and that batter on about is we're all together. Like, there's obviously people get disappointed when they don't play, but the team morale's massive, and if you can use that to the best you can, then everybody's a part of it, and it's not just a starting 11 and a couple of subs. It's everybody who's worked as hard as they can that week. So we'll try to use that as much as possible to the advantage.
And just quickly looking back at the Hearts game, you mentioned a little bit about that obviously penalty decision, and the manager after the game spoke about his frustrations with what happened and the handball rule specifically. And is that something that, as a player, that concerns you? If you're defending where your arms are going, or if you're bringing the ball forward, thinking if the ball bounces about here, could clip an arm, could get a penalty out of it?
Yeah, I think even before the season, when the refs and whatever came to us, there was that many kind of rules and ways you can go about it. All the boys were kind of confused, so you just try and keep your hands as close to your body or down to your side as you can. Obviously sometimes with different angles it looks different. I've seen 2 angles of the penalty against us on Saturday. One looks like a penalty, one doesn't. It's obviously so hard for the refs and a side by them, but it's just one of the ones that's, sometimes it goes against you, it goes for you, and sadly enough we've had them coming against us. But listen, tide's turning, it will come our point where we'll get a penalty probably for it at one point, so we just need to keep going for there.
And just looking ahead to the game against St Mirren, obviously they've had a big win at Easter Road at the weekend, and what are you expecting from them in Paisley on Wednesday?
Well, they'll be high zetting after their win against Hibs away, and they look good in it. They're a good side, they press hard, they play similar kind of football to us, but listen, it doesn't matter, we focus on ourselves and try and look how we can exploit other teams with our strengths. So we'll be using our positives to hopefully counteract them.